Hello, Maria. It's Mr. Parrish again. I'm going to take a few minutes and go through the final reaction paragraph submission. Let me say, first of all, I think you're on track to do really well in the class. You've picked up and are exhibiting the things I've really emphasized in the course so far. So I'll point out a few things here to keep in mind as you work on your subsequent papers. First thing, right off the bat, my name is spelled with two R's, and this is I think this is a big deal, not because it's a big deal to me, but I always think that there are different kinds of spelling mistakes, and misspelling proper nouns is probably more serious than others. So if you think about misspelling someone's name on a job application or a cover letter or referencing a historical figure or something like that, just be very careful that you correctly spell proper nouns. A couple of things just in phrasing here. You have in the second sentence, predictions done in the past say. Say is always a pretty weak signal verb. I would always look for an opportunity to replace say as I come back through a paper the second or third time. By definition, predictions are done in the past. So I suggest you a couple of ways you might do this. One is prediction suggests that as time goes on. Suggest, I think, is a stronger verb than say. Or, since you might think about who is it that makes predictions. If you had something like scientists predict, then you could complete the sentence that way. In the next sentence, that according to Spencer, Bocat, Lendell, this part's not italicized. You would italicize in this particular case, say something like New York Times, but that wouldn't be italicized. I marked delete over the in paragraph 8. I don't think you need, MLA doesn't require, and it's probably going to be awkward if you begin indicating where the paragraphs come from or numbering the paragraphs yourself. Things are pretty much at the point now where if it's an online source, MLA understands they're not going to be page numbers, so use the signal phrase to indicate where the sources begin, where they end. After that, I think you do a pretty good job on the summary. I think this was strengthened from the first one, definitely. So take to heart the comments I made. You obviously took to heart the comments I made, and this is a stronger summary. One thing in revising, sort of like the word say, would be an opportunity to revise. Whenever you use the word thing, look for a way there to replace that. Thing is a very vague word. Here you have another thing the government said. Perhaps another suggestion the government had, or the government also suggested, might be the sort of revision you would get if you were routinely trying to replace thing with the word, the noun that you're actually referencing. I tend to think of things as objects, like screwdrivers or pliers or a staple or something like that. You're talking here about something more abstract than that, suggestions, recommendations, that kind of thing. As I mentioned in class last time, a kind of automatic pattern of writing is when you start a sentence with the word when, there's a comma coming at the end of that idea, and it's here at destroyed. When the government decides to rebuild what was destroyed, that's where the comma goes. The most likely really goes with the next part of the sentence, so that comma should probably go here. Most likely, I would probably take that comma out just for clarity, but some writers might include it there. It is a kind of introductory element. So it's one of those vague things, but definitely the comma after destroyed in this case. I can move on. I would, here in this sentence where there is a safety test done, the test consists of, I'd combine this into one safety test. The Netherlands have a safety test on land, even if you extend it here, on land below sea level, or a safety test that determines that if land is below sea level, it is considered unsafe for a person to live there. So I think tightening those two sentences up would help as well. I think you combine these two. If the temperature goes, or if the temperature gets sentences, the and combines them. That's what would be called a run-on sentence. But it's the comma coordination. The and is combining two separate sentences, so a comma would go after waves. I thought you improved the reaction paragraph really well, bringing in the North Carolina example. Certainly added some, we'll just say, depth to that response. So overall, I think a good effort in this. I see you learning the things that I need you to learn in this class and putting a lot of effort into each of these papers. If you have any questions about this or the next assignment, of course, reach out to me. Thanks.